Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of Under the Scope, powered by Esports Labs. Today, we welcome back Jay Madrigal, and with me is Travis Cochran. So, you guys met him in our last episode, and you guys obviously met Jay in our first episode. So, we welcome you guys back. How are you guys doing today?
Well, what? Never fear, I is here. So no, doing all right, doing all right. How's everybody else doing?
Doing good. Excited for episode three. Episode three now.
And now
I know.
episode 3 already. Time flies.
Already.
Jeez.
I know. Next week's going to be episode 100.
I know.
Right, yeah.
Time flies when you miss an episode, right, Jay? But hey, listen, I know that you didn't do it on purpose. You know, I know you were moving, enjoying yourself moving. So I know you had fun there. How did that go?
Oh, it was good. I mean, moving's moving. I think for 90% of people, they hate moving, right? But you got to do what you got to do. But the thing is that it was just me and my wife moving, so we didn't really go to get help, because everybody's usually busy, especially the week that we were moving. And I know for Will, when we were talking about moving, he was like, "Yeah, my work here in the fire station, everybody has a truck. So if they were gonna, if he was gonna do a move, it would only take a couple hours because he has all the help that he can get, with all these buff freaking firefighters, and so yeah, slowly but surely, at least we're moved in, and everything is all good.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I mean, I'm sad to see that you left your kids behind since it's only you and your wife moved. But,
Right?
you know,
They're still at the old place. I don't know.
there you go.
We just go back from time to time and just check them food and stuff like that. So I'm just
Oh
kidding.
man, that would suck. That would really suck.
They got their
I would be
Fortnite,
waiting.
so they're good.
Oh, there you go. See, that's all they need. I mean, that and a coach like Travis here, and they're set, right?
There you go. There you go.
So, how's everything
Absolutely.
going for you, Travis? How's I know you're up in the mountains right now, enjoying yourself, getting ready for the big snowstorms come in later this fall. So, but how's that going up there?
Oh, good. Mountain weather's been nice and chilly. Luckily, there was a storm that passed through, but now it's all clear, sunny skies, and let's hope it keeps that way for a little bit longer before any more storms or snow arrives.
Well, hey, listen, I'm actually looking forward to the snow because I want to go this year. I unfortunately couldn't make it last year because I was injured, my knee injury and everything. Not that I'm doing 100% better, but I'm a lot better this time. So I want to really get up there because I used to snowboard a lot and I kind of miss it. So, but we'll see. We'll see how this leg heals up.
Snowboard a lot.
No, I actually did. So calm down over there.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
man.
I really loved it. See, it was kind of weird because I didn't skateboard. I rollerbladed. But I used to snowboard a lot. So go figure.
You use those the old school ones. Roll. The
Roller skates? Nah, man.
Is that what you?
I know. Nah,
with your the high tops, the socks.
Oh
with
my
your short shorts.
Oh my gosh, you're painting like an image from the 90s right now. I love it.
I know. No, but you know what? Even in the 90s,
with the bandana or the sweat, the sweat,
Wait.
the sweatband,
and the big stereo. He had his big stereo over his head, and he's like, boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
that's it right there.
You guys, I just want to say you guys suck. But don't be jealous, all right? No, I used to aggressive roller skate, guys, or rollerblade, actually, I should say. So, but yeah, so in the 90s, I don't know if you guys knew this, but us young folks used to use the inline skates. So, we were able to go wax off the sidewalk or whatever, and then just aggressive roller skate on there or rollerblade on it. So, so they existed in the 90s, you still had to oil up your bearings and all that good stuff, and whoever used the that heel brake you used to have, we used to slide our foot sideways and brake that way, so until I fell down going on Arnold Hill. For you guys that know that, it was a nice big nasty fall, but it's basically in downtown LA going from on top of it's really cool, but it's a big steep, so you would go down and it throws you into the same street where the public main library is in downtown LA. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so that was some moments. But again, I rollerbladed, never skateboarded, but I love obviously boarding up in the mountains. So, but
Very cool.
yeah, so I know, cool story, right? I had to share something today with you guys. So, but yeah, so in today's episode, obviously, we're gonna be talking about some stuff like we normally do. We bring up some exciting news of what's going on, some topics, on. But we're gonna be discussing, a few people, influencers from the outside that have dabbled in a little bit into the esports. One of them really not, I haven't really seen in here, but they have dabbled a bit. So we're going to talk about what they're doing now in esports and how they are now involved in esports. But at the same time, we're going to be talking a little bit about, esports labs itself. So I know that Jay and we'll discuss this as we go. And then we'll be talking a little bit about Project X Cloud and the future of game streaming. So, and that'll be covered by yours truly, Travis Cochran. So, but yeah, so again, one of the fun things this week, guys, we were able to attend the Crypto Invest Summit, and it was great. Met a lot of great people, a lot of interesting topics and subjects. So, what did you take away from that, Jay, from that experience?
Yay, Crypto Invest Summit. No, that was I think that was the first Crypto Invest Summit that was held here. I'm not sure. I totally
record breaking,
forgot,
by the way.
But it was fun. It was we got to meet a lot of people. We got to sit down and listen to a lot of different speakers from different backgrounds that are now, have been using blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it was really informative to listen to them and how they were working on their different projects and how they're using blockchain and how the cryptocurrency and also the overall just the blockchain and crypto world, right, and how it's going to become in the future. So it was very interesting to meet all these people and listen to them. So it was very cool.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And Travis, we're going to have to take you on the next run so that you could come and meet all these great people. I believe you missed out, by the way. I'm just rubbing that in your face because it was pretty cool.
No, absolutely. I want to make it to the next one for sure. You guys sound like you had all the fun, so I'm a little jelly. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, the good thing is that there's always some sort of event for this, right? Because it's something that is emergent technology that it's kind of everywhere now. I mean, you talk about like Bitcoins and stuff like that, and how the blockchain can help a lot of businesses, and a lot of companies. So there's a lot of opportunities for those types of events. So, yeah.
But one thing that we in episode 1 we covered about crypto and blockchain and gaming, and here we are. We went to our first crypto event, Jay, and this is where Esports Labs is heading, right? So, what can you tell us a little bit more of obviously why we went to the event, but also how blockchain is going to play an important part of Esports Labs?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be playing a big role, right? Obviously, and why we went there, because we wanted to learn, right? We wanted to see what everybody else is doing, because we wanted to see what everybody has as a project for blockchain, how they're using it, what type of applications they have, services and things like that, and how they see blockchain and cryptocurrency in the future, obviously. So mainly we wanted to learn. That's what we went there for, and also meet a lot of great people that attended as well. But again, it's definitely a big part on what we're doing, because we want to see, or at least bring what the advantages of this new technology is to the esports and the gaming sector, right? The gaming industry. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that we can do in terms of how we can use the blockchain, and also creating this community and creating this ecosystem that we are going to be building with this blockchain network. But obviously, there's a lot of designing, there's a lot of planning and development that we need to do to properly utilize this technology, right? So because not everything can be put on the blockchain, so we have to determine what those are and what those going to be and how we're going to be building our applications in the esports industry and how we're going to utilize that and how we're going to be building our utility token and cryptocurrency and how that's going to be used, but not only by us as first party applications, but also the other third party applications that's going to come in and how this whole ecosystem is going to be laid out and used, right? And how the network is going to be coming together in the upcoming, months, years, and things like that. So it's big plans. So, but all in all, good stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. So I know that Travis, obviously, when we've been having a lot of these conversations about esports labs, what we're doing, where we're headed. So obviously, it's one of those things where going to this just gives us a better, wider view of how people are using it, what they're doing with it, and not only that, but the different partnership opportunities to be able to bring people into our network once it's completely built and everything. So that's some of the cool things that we're actually working on. And again, Travis, obviously you're involved with us and the day to day, and and I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited that you're here again on this podcast. So, but yeah, so I know that.
Yeah, I think taking like advantage of like the technologies we're talking about, blockchain and so on and so forth, and implementing into an esports platform such as ourselves. Like I think that's it's like we're really thinking forward and in advance of a way so that we could position ourselves strategically, moving forward too.
No, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that, when we decided about how we were going to build esports labs, why we were going to build it, we had to have a vision in mind. And that was, pretty much to make sure that we're able to facilitate a network and ecosystem to not only the game developers, but also the everyday user, the gamers, the competitive gamers, the casual gamers, the brands, the products, give them a home where they're able to showcase themselves to each other and be able to interact with each other in one place, right? So, so pretty much in a nutshell, that's what Esports Labs is for those of you that don't know, and and we hope to share more as we continue to go along. So, but some interesting facts, some of the stuff that I've actually just kind of learned today was, obviously we all know about Drake having played with Ninja before and how they broke records and everything, but now he officially became one of the co-owners of 100 Thieves Esports team. Have you heard that, Travis or Jay?
Yeah. I think that was one of the bigger part of the news for recently. So that's a pretty big one.
Yeah. No, I heard this as well, and I immediately thought of too when the moment when Drake played with Ninja, and that kind of broke the record at the time for the number of Twitch streams, and that was before Ninja held his. It was before Ninja put on the huge Fortnite tournament at the Esports Arena in Vegas before that. So, yeah, I remember that. And, no, I did look into this, though, and seeing Drake become – it looks like he's going to be like another kind of co-investor. It looks like Nate Shot Matt has already been established with kind of like the first round and whatnot. And this is going to be like a Series A or B or something like that. And so he's coming on on a team that's already has investors involved. But, it's cool to see, 100 Thieves grow at the rate at which they're growing. And it looks like, too, it's just not the team itself. It's like 100 Thieves is trying to be an over-encompassing esports brand, like with, merchandise, potential content down the road. And it's just trying to be like an overall kind of esports brand. It looks like just not being restricted to a team itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of, I think they're right now in the, there was a ranking that came out, I believe, last week or the week before, and it was showcasing what the top organizations were and in regards to revenue and everything. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was ranked 11th on the list of most valuable esports organizations, right? So, but yeah, it's interesting to see how 100 Thieves is going to grow from here on out, because as of right now, I know they have a League of Legends team, a Fortnite, a Clash Royale league, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to move back into Call of Duty and then, with the new Black Ops 4, and then see what else they're going to do, especially with Drake and actually Braun too. By the way, Scooter Braun. for you guys that don't know who he is, he's a U.S. entertainment entrepreneur. So he basically partners up and usually goes in an investment with someone else, and that's in the entertainment industry. So this is kind of I believe this is a like a 2-in-1 type deal, guys. But it's going to be amazing to see what happens from here, or at least this upcoming year for the remainder of the year, but more so 2019, and see what happens with that. So
I have news for you too on the Call of Duty front with 100 Thieves. They did create a Call of Duty team. Matt was working really hard to figure out who they could grab and who they could formulate, especially since Call of Duty went from a 4-man team to 5-man teams. They were able to secure Enable as one of the players. He's been a solid person, solid player in the Call of Duty pro scene for quite some time now. Along with they also got a new recruit guy. I don't have like the whole list of all the names, but I know Enable's one of them. And then they have also the top submachine gun player who's actually was ranked higher than Scumpy from Optic last year. So they do have a 5-man squad for Call of Duty. It looks pretty promising. So out of all the Call of Duty teams that have rosters right now that are locked in, it looks like 100 Thieves and Optics have the strongest teams as of now.
Man, it's going to be exciting to see. Actually, I was waiting for you to say that that Nate Shot came back.
No. I don't think he will. I think he's too tied up and busy with all the business stuff he has going on with with his company 100 Thieves. So I think he's kind of more focused on the business side of things. But yeah, it would be interesting. He's brought it up before of him possibly going back and doing that. But I don't know if that will happen or not.
Well, hey man, best of luck to those guys. It looks like they've got some great relationships going, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, throughout the rest of the year, and then on to next year, right? 2019. It's going to be a huge year. I'll tell you. Lots of influencers coming in, and another one in one of my topics is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about that?
I just heard of this as of recent, like as of today. I heard this about the 26 million, the investment or whatever. I literally heard this today.
Yeah, that was just a recent thing. I literally I think I saw this article today as well. So, but it's definitely a big one, right? I mean, it's Michael Jordan, coming out and investing in a Team Liquid. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, which is great, right? So for you guys that don't know, he invested in Team Liquid, so which is great, again. So now, third most valuable esports company, only trailing Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid. So Cloud9, 339 million in revenue, and Team Solo Mid is following with 200 and something, and Team Liquid, I don't know where they're at now with this, but obviously it put ranks them up there. They were in the high 100s to low 200 millions, which is still not bad, right? But I guess this was Jordan and David Rubenstein's family office in Declaration Capital. So they funded $26 million total between both. So, again, that's pretty.
It's a very nice chunk of change.
Oh yeah. So again, we're I know, right? So
I think you can do a lot with $26 million, right? So,
I don't know. Travis.
No.
Travis just might buy, I don't know.
Yeah,
$26 million home or a car.
A boat, and he'll make a little boat video, release in YouTube, and
hey, yeah. What was the name of that movie? Brothers, or what was it?
They have the boats and
We can't repeat that, but you know what I mean. Like, that's pretty cool. That's gonna be Travis right there. Broadcasting background,
Oh my gosh! Yeah, send it my way. Send the check over.
Oh man!
But that's definitely great news, because that really, again, solidifies esports as something that is becoming very big. Now you have Michael Jordan, out of all the athletes out there investing in esports. So that's a really big one.
It's you brought up something, Travis, earlier with Drake and the brand with 100 Thieves. What do you think Michael Jordan joining this is going to do to their brand?
Oh, it's going to be absolutely huge. And yeah, shoes, especially Nike Air or whatever, the Michael Jordans. That's just going to be absolutely insane. And I'm waiting for, it's like, and it's not. I mean, Michael Jordan is kind of like the juggernaut in this, but this isn't new, right? I mean, look at there's been other sport and entertainment celebrities in the past who have invested in finance esport teams, but him coming and doing this brings it even to a bigger scope, a bigger light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is so this is absolutely like it's really really exciting. But no, I mean in terms of like celebrities, I mean Mark Cuban's gotten involved in esports, and Jennifer Lopez, Rick Fox, all these people have put their money behind some sort of esports team or organization. But I think with Michael Jordan coming in, this is such a huge stamp in the industry, and also solidifying us as like this is the next biggest, giant, most badass sport that there's going to be. So
I'm just waiting to go to an event and or even watch a stream and just watch Team Liquid with a Jordan sign on their jerseys now going forward. So
right?
they're gonna Team Liquid Jordan shoes, like those headbands, like they're sweating and they don't have to wipe it off anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So we gotta get you one of those for your so you don't mess up your hair, Travis, when you're gaming out there.
Right. Or
we gotta keep you on point.
Or like one of those bandanas that Ninja wears, so it keeps his blue hair all.
Yeah. I need one of those too. So I'll definitely pick one each.
Yeah.
One each,
the bandana and the sweatband, everything.
Everything.
Hey, you can't really mess with Ninjas though, because he wears some Dragon Ball Z stuff, and I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball. So just saying, all right?
Yeah, he's in anime. He likes that stuff.
Oh yeah, he does.
I'm sure.
I mean, you guys big on that stuff. So, but yeah, man. I mean, it's exciting. Obviously, again, like you said, NRG has a lot of those big celebrities. You start looking at Rise Nation, Roger Stafford from the LA Rams lineman. He's also co-owner in there. So yeah, a lot of celebrities coming in. So now it's only about who's next, right? Who's going to jump in next? That's the key. So we'll stay tuned to that and see what happens there. So it's exciting. It's great, and I'm actually excited for the future of esports, and and even more so excited because of news like this. Excited for esports labs as well, and our network and ecosystem that we're building here. So, but yeah, no, absolutely fun times, great times. So I know that another great time and great stuff that we got coming here is Project X Cloud and the future of game streaming. What can you tell us, Travis, about Project X Cloud for those that haven't heard it or don't know about it?
Yes, I am so excited about this. When I first heard about the concept, I was a little intrigued, but also like what's this going to lead? Like, what's the future of this? Essentially, Project X Cloud is a game streaming service to play your favorite games on Xbox on any device, whether it doesn't have to be restrained to console. It's supposed to be accommodating to wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. So you can do it on a tablet, a smartphone, and then also on PC. Of course, as well. So pretty much anywhere you go, you will have with Project X Cloud, you're going to be streaming games instead of playing them directly from a downloaded, game like on your console or on your PC. And what it looks like they're doing, if they made the announcement trailer at the very beginning of this month, October 8th, I believe it was, in which they're saying how they're just pretty much prepping all the technology for this. They have all the servers not only in the US but also in the world to be able to support something like a behemoth like this. And a lot of people, of course, are concerned, like, is this going to degrade or degrade kind of like my whole gaming experience? Is it going to be choppy? Is it going to be bad? And they're kind of like trying to reassure that as well, that no, you're going to have the same kind of prime high fidelity experience you get on a console as you would on any other device that, on a mobile or anywhere else that you're going to be using it for. Essentially, and it's really, really smart what Xbox is and Microsoft's doing is like they're positioning themselves to get you playing their games on any device around the world, right? They don't want to be fully kind of like just restrained and consolidated just to a console. They want you playing their games on PC. They want you playing their games on mobile. They essentially just want you playing their games, period, on any device, anywhere. That's the whole concept with Project X Cloud, and I think it's a really, really wise move that they're doing. Sony already has PlayStation Now, which is a streaming device, but I've heard that there has been kind of like some issues here and there with that. But yeah, I think that, and this also leads to kind of like another big question is that will even console survive then in the long run of this? Or will Xbox and PlayStation just become gaming services that allow you to stream games just directly from your smart TVs, your tablet, your phones? And so that leads kind of like to that kind of big question down the road. We do know for a fact there is a console generation coming up, but I don't know if that will be the last one. I don't know. So yeah.
Well, I will jump in and say something that, I don't think it's going to replace the console, because people are still going to be, wait for you're a console gamer, right? So obviously, that there's still going to be competition, certain things you can do on a console that you could do on a phone and everything. But, looking at this video, for you guys that haven't seen it and are listening to our podcast, I recommend you go and check it out. And I know that our great producer, Sam, is going to put it somewhere in the link, or put the link somewhere in the video or somewhere like that when we share it on YouTube. But it is showing you how a controller or a phone and a controller are adapted to one another, and they're actually using the Xbox controller to manipulate the game on the actual mobile itself, which is amazing to me. That's kind of amazing. But even so, I still don't think that we're going to replace console. I mean, I can't see it happen. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, well, kind of on the fence. I mean, I think why it's not going to replace consoles is because people, well, for one, companies still want to be able to sell a hardware, right? But then again, that being said, Sony or Xbox console makers aren't really making that much money from or profits from the consoles. It's more the software end of things. That's where the money rolls in for them. But at the same time, I see this type of technology, and this is not. I don't want to say it's nothing new, but Travis did mention Sony with the PlayStation Now. So that was originally Gaikai. If I'm not sure if you guys were familiar with that before it became Sony.
Yes.
So which is cool. I mean, that's a startup that was here in OC actually a couple years back, and then Sony swoop in and they bought them. So that was cool, and they're actually doing pretty well as well. But I think we have Xbox with Project Cloud just kind of taking that a step further. They might have a little bit more of a better technology and how they compress these games so that it goes through and there's not a lot of lag. There's not a lot of input lag, I guess you could say, for the games when you're playing them through the online. But I see it really as kind of like the future, because again, just like what Travis said, it's definitely something where you can play on your laptop, you can play, on your mobile, your tablet, so you don't have to have your console. You're sitting there with your console anymore, but you can actually play anywhere you want. Because one of the things that's happening now is with the mobile internet, right? You have 4G. Now it's heading to 5G. 5G is going to be so much faster than 4G. So we will be able to actually play our games anywhere we want. You can be in the bus station, you can be in the train playing your games. You can be playing your Forza, you can be playing your Halo, and it's all there. So that's actually pretty cool. And I like the fact that they're actually creating this adapter for your tablet or your mobile phone that can connect to the Xbox controller itself. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's definitely the future that I see going to, and I don't think that it's going to replace consoles yet, but I would say eventually it will. So yeah,
that's going to be very interesting to see, to be honest with you, because I've always seen during their E3, their opening and everything, I saw the new console that they had there, and I think they announced that that's going to be the new one going forward. So, and I know that, hey, listen, they're coming out with this now, Project X Cloud. So how far are we looking at release date? Do you have a release date, Travis, by any chance, on when they're looking to launch this?
Well, they're saying how 2019 they're going to roll out like test and like little beta phases for it to see kind of like test its its functionality and its reliability. But I'm not sure if they have like a projected official date, like, oh, it's going to be accessible to everyone. I'm not so sure about that. But speaking of like the next console, I believe you were referring to Xbox codename Scarlet, which is going to be the very first streaming based console that Xbox makes.
Nice.
And so that
very
is
interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and when we're talking about the potential of consoles being, replaced or taken out or whatnot, we're not saying that everything's going to be resort to small, little, tiny phones. In fact, I actually don't. I mean, I respect if you want to play a mobile game, whatnot, but for me, I'm all about the visceral, immersive experience. And so I really, really, really enjoy high fidelity. I really enjoy high frame rate. I really enjoy high resolution. And for me, I want like that really nice 4K like LED or that, that big, huge screen that makes it more immersive for me. So, the potential is then having just smart TVs play that experience, but you're still having that same visceral experience, but in the same kind of like living room atmosphere that you're used to with the console. But yeah, I don't know what the future is going to hold. That's just kind of like the talk that's going out. But I think kind of like having that high level visceral experience with high fidelity will always be core to a lot of gamers, including myself. So I will always cherish that. I would always prefer that over like a smaller screen. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's it's the way to go now, right? Everyone's moving to different types of technologies. I'm almost just waiting to see when they're going to come up with their. I know that, and I know you're big on VR AR. We talked about that in our first episode as well with Jay. But I wonder who's going to be that. Where they take their console fully VR. AR status, that's going to be interesting. Right now, Sony and Xbox, or PlayStation and Xbox are going back and forth to see. And I know a little bit about the next subject or title that your topic you're going to talk about will explain a little bit more of that competition going on with Xbox Game Pass, right, and PlayStation Now. So, what can you tell us a little bit about that, Travis?
Yeah, well, just to talk about kind of like the other kind of subject. I'm curious to see if Xbox is going to be able to do the VR, because it's like remember when they it wasn't this E3, it was last year's E3 when Phil Spencer came out and he was saying how the Xbox One X would promise 4K resolution, blah blah, and at the very end he said, and also VR capability. We never saw VR with Xbox One X.
Yeah.
No, and so and a lot of people are questioning, and then it was actually interesting because I remember Major Nelson, Larry Herb, being interviewed by YouTube and like the YouTube head or whatever, Ryan Watt, and he was actually asking Larry, Major Nelson, he's just like, okay, what about the VR capability? And it was just like everything went total silence. I remember Major Nelson trying to squiggle his way out of it, and he was just saying, it's like, we have the capabilities to do it, but I cannot tell you anything more. And so I'm like, what? So I'm kind of curious if they're secretly have something up their sleeves. We already know that PlayStation has VR, and what's really exciting to me is how successful it was, because that just shows to me that the gamers are supporting virtual reality. I mean, we've been talking about VR for many years and VR technology for many years, but it seems like it's finally happening. It's finally progressing going forward. And we've seen that through the success with PS4 VR. I'm just wondering if Xbox has something up their sleeve, and I'm maybe wondering if HoloLens, their AR technology, has anything to do with that. I don't know. But I want to pose it to you, Jay and Silver. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think that there could be something with the HoloLens that they're working on, or do you think that they're working on their own VR technology with HTC Vive, or maybe, I don't know.
I was well, the way I was thinking about it is that they were working, or they were going to be working with one of the game or the VR companies already out there, like Oculus or HTC. But I guess that wasn't what it was, and it seemed more like they were actually creating their own hardware. So at this point, it's kind of like up in the air, right? So they're either going to be creating their own VR headset, or like you said, they already have the HoloLens, so they might have some sort of AR VR hybrid of the HoloLens that they might be that might be in the works, that's going to be coming out. But I think what's going to happen is that if they are building something like that, is that they're keeping it tight-lipped until the that new console that we were just talking about, the streaming one. So,
Scarlet.
The Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced it once they announced that new console officially, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, we also have AR and VR capabilities with this console. But again, that's take that with a grain of salt, because just like Travis said, they mentioned that with the Xbox One and nothing happened to it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with both of you guys. I think it's gonna be, from Travis's standpoint and on all the promises that were made and then nothing happened, and back in, even taking a step back with the Kinect, they try to make something happen there where, it was, and then I don't know, they just try to make a lot of things happen. And I know it's trial and error. I think they could have continued. Maybe they're redesigning the Kinect, who knows, and maybe they pulled it back because they wanted to do something better. So I'm just in that theory right there. And then with you, Jay, I think you're right. I think, I want to say that they have something definitely up their sleeve. What that is, don't know, but I'm excited to see what comes with Scarlet, and I don't know when the launch date is on that. I don't know if you guys know, but I know that having that streaming capability, that's actually something amazing that I'm looking forward to. So,
yeah, no, for sure, and we'll hear about it in the future. So, right now everybody's kind of like in the race of providing the best VR experience, and I think Microsoft sees that with Sony's, PlayStation VR, and how successful it has become. Because again, you have anybody that already has a console. They don't have to purchase like a PC or anything, just like the Oculus or HTC. They only have to pay, the $399 to get the VR headset itself, and you got a bunch of games already available for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody is waiting to see what. Obviously, Sony has a big background with them and gaming and everything, and not only that, but computers, all that stuff. So, it's just one of those where two titans are going at it, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. And I'm excited to see what happens, actually. So, but one more Clash of the Titans. You got one more thing for us today, right, Travis?
Yes, I do.
What do you got?
Yeah, so as you guys know, Xbox Game Pass, it is the Netflix equivalent subscription for all the games in the library. Oh, like pretty much, as most of the games in the library for Xbox. It includes all the new titles, like the first party titles that come out. I think it's a really, really smart, thing that that Xbox did this. And PlayStation has their own kind of like system of this, like with PlayStation Now. I really think that with the Xbox Game Pass, though, there is a leg up I think that Xbox has over Sony in the long run. And just hear me out. I want to get your guys' thoughts. I think that with Xbox, being owned by Microsoft, and obviously Microsoft with Windows, Windows 10 PC, Xbox Game Pass isn't just restricted to the console players. It's also for anything that is a Play Anywhere title under Xbox, which is all their first party games, right? Correct. That opens it up for PC users. And so with Xbox having Game Pass open to also the PC players for, not all their games, but for all the Play Anywhere titles, that opens it up for, gamers not only on the console side of things, but also for Xbox to target PC gamers. And then also in alliance with their Project X Cloud for the future, it's like, it really seems like they're going after every gamer. Whereas Sony, is firmly trenched in the console space, right? Sony doesn't own Windows. Sony doesn't own Mac. Sony doesn't own, anything. Like Sony owns PlayStation, which is a console. And so it seems like they're kind of, in a way, trapped squarely in the console market, whereas Microsoft has the upper hand in this in the long run, in that, hey, we're not just console, baby. We're also Windows 10 PC. We're also, going to be able to be on any other device that has Windows Windows software. So it just seems like they have just in a long term, like a much bigger blanket to cast over for gamers. But anyways, I just want to get your thoughts on that.
No, I think you're right. The only thing I'm thinking of as you're talking is, I think there's a lot of opportunities for PlayStation, right? As you said, if you look back as recent as what happened with Fortnite, PlayStation opened it up, decided like, hey, you know what, the customer base, our customer base, our users, they're asking for it. They're getting upset at us. How bad is this PR towards us? So whatever it was, they opened it up, right, for cross-platform. So what stops them from doing a partnership with an Apple and saying, hey, let us do this and make it available for your system, operating system, iOS, and we'll push everything towards you guys. So this way, there's no Windows based anymore. But now, again, now you have different titans going after each other and phone makers and stuff like that. And now you involve one other titan that goes against, Microsoft and that's Apple products, right? So like I said, I'm really I don't know, man.
That's a long shot with Apple, though. They don't play nice with others.
Oh, they don't. But let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, what I just saw from PlayStation that I thought I would never see, I saw it, right? So I don't know. When push comes to shove and people start seeing, I know that Apple this year became a $1 trillion company. But what happens when people are starting to, the remainder of the gaming, our generation and so forth, are upbringing and they try to play these games like you just mentioned, Travis, with the Xbox Game Pass and play everywhere pretty much concept that Xbox has, and and they start buying these devices because they're able to play their favorite games on the road, or the parents are like, you know what, my kid wants to play this, I don't want him crying on the road, I'm gonna go ahead and get this, and I'm gonna let him use this device, this instead of an iPad, I'll buy him a Surface Pro, because he's able to play the same games that he plays at home here on this road trip. So, what starts happening then? Does that corner Apple into saying, you know what? Just like PlayStation did, where they listen to the consumer and they see the market trends and then they make an adjustment and open it up? I don't know, but that's something that it would be very, very interesting.
That was like an internal move and decision, though, where it's just like for them to go to such a huge juggernaut like Apple, that would have to be like a mutual decision instead of like an internal one, right? So
absolutely,
it would be interesting. I'm just not sure if Apple is interested though in getting into like the gaming space. Really, I mean, there are games on Mac, but I don't know if they're really, I mean, and also I think too with, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have, I think they actually have like their own little like hokey pokey like Apple controller for like Apple TV for like some games to be played on there or something like that. But I don't know if they're truly trying to get into the gaming space or not. I will say this though about Sony and PlayStation. They have such a loyal fan base and audience. And because they have they have they have a better like lineup of exclusives than Xbox. And we can all agree to that. They just have such a huge like lineup of so many different titles, whereas Xbox is now trying to play catch up in that regard, right? We found that pretty evident when with this year's E3, when Xbox said we're doubling down on our investments and buying pretty much all these studios to come on board and have them become first party studios and for them to make games for us. So they're trying to play in catch up, whereas PlayStation is already way ahead in terms of like a full solid lineup of exclusives, and that they're just going to keep going at that. So they have such and most of these games on Sony PlayStation as well, they're typically different games than Xbox even. Like they're really rich narrative driven storytelling games, stuff like God of War, and then Horizon Zero Dawn, Drake's Uncharted. It's just like these are really good kind of like storytelling games, whereas Xbox traditionally is more, I mean, if you look at their kind of like the exclusives that they have, like with Halo, Forza, Gears of War, Sea of Thieves, all of those are online multiplayer Pacific games. They're not so much story. So
I'm gonna throw you a curveball then. Jay, help me out here. How many gamers are there across the world?
A little more than 2 billion gamers.
How many of those gamers are mobile gamers?
Oh, I'd say like roughly like at least 80% of them are practically mobile gamers. So
when you start looking at console versus mobile games and taking what you just said, Travis, about Microsoft, Xbox, Microsoft Windows and being able to play those in computers and mobile devices, Can you imagine the possibilities of how much of an impact that would make towards PlayStation? I mean, I just wanted to put that in perspective.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter how many good console games you got. I think what matters is what
users.
you're able to offer. Correct.
Yeah.
How many users you're able to acquire and how many game titles you're able to provide for those non-console gamers to be able to kind of play that they never had the opportunity to play before.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I like with and Jay, you probably know more about this than me because I think you're more on the PlayStation side, but like in Silver enlighten me too. But like with PlayStation Now, it's like that's just streaming for the console, right? It's they don't offer any other services for, you know, they're not saying you can play anywhere at any time. Whereas with Microsoft, again, owning Windows and with Windows being on all these different devices, they're able to go after more users that way, even on the mobile side of things. Correct? Like there is
that is correct. There is only on their network. It's only on their console. They have, I think that don't they have like a portable PlayStation Sony Bio, I want to say, or something.
The Vita, that was way back. That didn't really do well. I mean, we have the Switch, but yeah, I get what Travis is saying because with Microsoft, you have PC, right? I mean, they have Windows, but you also have to think about the other game company, the other computer companies out there. You know, Dell, Alienware, Razer. What do they use? They all use Windows, and you know that means that the user base that they're acquiring, or the ones that are into those companies, they benefit Microsoft as well because they're all gamers. They're all people that like to play games. So if you're buying or purchasing those types of products, that means you're already into Windows, and that's why.
And that's why I said what I said, because I think where Travis was heading was not really fitting the bigger picture of what he had said earlier. So I wanted to make sure that, I kind of pointed that out a little bit, because I think with PlayStation being on its own island when it comes to only their network and only their console versus a giant that has the ability to do what exactly you guys are talking about and share it throughout Microsoft's proprietary sister companies and all that good stuff. I think Xbox in the long run is going to have the upper hand, guys. Here,
but can you imagine a gaming focused MacBook? How much would that cost? Wait. That's Razer, correct?
Essentially is. Yeah, essentially
I mean, like if you were to have Apple create an actual gaming laptop or PC, that would be like $10,000, but I'm pretty sure Apple, fans will probably buy that anyway. So,
you know what's crazy though? I do see people use a lot of Apple products for streaming already. So it's there. It's just you're right. I've never played a game on a Mac. To be honest with you, I haven't.
What is cool, and I used to do this before, is because when Apple switched to the 8.6 architecture for their CPUs, you're actually able to install the Mac OS into actual PC or Windows-based laptop or computer if you had the correct parts to it. And I did that a while back when everybody was doing that, and it was actually pretty cool. So I had to actually make sure I had the right hardware, the right software drivers to install Mac OS in there. But surely enough, I was running Mac OS on my laptop. On my PC-based laptop. So.
Nice.
You know what was crazy was when back in the days, I don't know if you remember, but Apple started, I cried wolf, right? And they went and the government took half of Bill Gates's earnings. So it was like a $200-something billion company, and they cut back 50% of it. And he had to restart from like $100-something billion. I mean, poor Bill Gates still had $100-something billion, right?
Poor Bill Gates. Oh no.
I know, poor guy, but so now, obviously here's his empire, build it again and everything. Build an Xbox, that has been successful and it's been growing. And again, I mean, the way they're going, man, it's, this is how you do business. All right. This is how you really do it. As a businessman, you got to make sure that you're building your network. And that's what he did. Right. So that's what he's done. He's built this network. He's built it on different levels, from PC users to tablets to phones to consoles. So, what's next, right? So now this stream everywhere, your games, now you're able to interconnect all these users to gaming, that everyone, really, our generation and even generations before us and after us, are moving there, and they're all gamers, and now they're going to have the ability to play these games on the road. I travel every week, guys, and every week I'm sitting at an airport and everybody's gaming. I kid you not. People think that there's a few people here and there that are sending a few emails out. But let me tell you, as soon as they're done, they close those laptops and they're on their mobile device or tablet gaming. It is insane.
I enjoy playing mobile games while I'm in the restroom. I think those are the best times to kill time and play mobile games, man.
It's funny you said
that. High scores. Also, it's like concentrate.
Exactly. And how many times? All right, and this goes for both of you guys. How many times have you allowed your legs to go to sleep because you're there just gaming, really, instead of really focusing on using the restroom there, guys?
Oh yeah, that's probably every time. And then my wife's like knocking on the door, like, "Are you done? What are you doing in there?" I'm like, "Hold on, I'm trying to get the highest score here." It's 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Like, what are you?
Now here comes the white lie. How many that's happened to you?
Oh, to me, you mean? Oh, Travis. Yeah, Travis probably like I don't know.
I don't do mobile gaming on my phone. Like, mobile gaming to me, it brings back nostalgia of my Game Boy Advance, and so I would do that on like my Game Boy Advance and stuff. But it was so long ago, so I can't quite recall if that would happen or not. But yeah, for the most part, I don't do the really mobile scene. Like, I respect it, and it is actually like the fastest growing thing because everyone has a phone. Not everyone has a console or a PC. So yeah, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, I just don't really use it that much. I'd much rather prefer, like, I really wish they would just Nintendo. I mean, we have the Switch, but I really love the Game Boy Advance. I wish they would make out of the Game Boy Advance version 2, 3, like it'll never happen.
So if you wait a little bit longer, they're going to create. I think somebody's creating like a case for a phone that looks like a Game Boy.
Oh, really?
And you just encase your phone in it, and then it would cover like the half of it, and then you have the controllers and the buttons, and it would look exactly just like a Game Boy. So,
that's so cool.
That's going to be cool.
So, talking about building networks like Microsoft just did, that's what we're doing here at Esports Labs. We're creating different products under Esports Labs. Obviously, if you visit our website, esportsshowdown.com, it's our tournament site. It's there. While we build our blockchain infrastructure and we start creating some of these products under that, again, just like Jay said, not everything's going to go on the blockchain, but most of it is. And while we build out our technology, this is what we're aiming for. Just the same way as Microsoft built their network with different products under Microsoft, that's what we're trying to do. And at the end of the day, we're going to interconnect them. So all these are going to be talking to each other, and they're also going to be able to work independently from each other. So that is the cool thing of how what we're doing with Esports Labs. So make sure you guys follow us on the Esports Labs on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you guys again for joining us. Travis, thank you again for coming in here. And
thank you for having me.
Jay, welcome back to the podcast again.
He's back.
Yeah,
he's
right.
The man, the legend.
Back.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Jay is back. Back again. There you go.
All right, guys. Well, hey,
awesome
audience. We haven't had any questions yet, but I know this is only our 3rd episode, so we want to hopefully see you guys and continue to hear from you guys. But please, any questions you guys have, please ask them, and we'll make sure that we answer them in our next episode. So with that, Travis, Jay, thank you so much for being here again tonight.
For sure,
and we will see you guys in our next episode 4.